Following on from our previous video on the Lancia Delta Futurista, we wanted to bring you another special car in the series. This time, we've chosen something that's already had a fair amount of attention on our social media channels, including our Instagram, which is the Ringbrothers Defector 2.0, based on a 1969 Dodge Charger. Before we go into too much detail on the car, I wanted to give you a little bit of background, which explains firstly how the car came to be here, but also how we've helped the client manage it and care for it. The gentleman who owns the car is a long-standing Windrush client and first brought it to us in 2017. The car had just been built by Ringbrothers at significant cost and was running a 396 cubic inch Hemi engine, so that's 6.4 litres to those of us in the UK. He brought the car to the UK to show it, and it was UK registered, which was something we helped him with. The car stayed with us for a period of time, it was enjoyed by the owner, and subsequently left the UK. The owner had actually taken the car back to his residence in Norway with a view to driving the car on those open Norwegian roads where, as you can imagine, this would be quite fun. We subsequently found out that the Norwegian authorities were not particularly happy with registering a very heavily modified vehicle such as this, and he contacted us again in 2024 with a view to us helping him get the car registered in Norway via the DVLA here in the UK. As such, in 2025, the car reappeared in London in its current form, and I'll come on to what I mean by its current form in a moment. And the client had asked us to speak to the DVLA to talk about the modifications that have been made to the car with a view to arranging a full suite of paperwork such that when it then goes back to Norway again, the car can be registered there and used on the roads. Now let's go and have a quick look at the car and we'll talk about some of the features and the things that have been done to it during the Ringbrothers build. Things you can see straight away is the 1969 Dodge Charger. Why do I say 1969? Well, it's a very famous year for Dodge Chargers. Specifically, this is the model year that was used as the basis for the General Lee, famously used in the Dukes of Hazzard. This particular car is not a standard 1969 Charger, as I mentioned. It's a Ringbrothers conversion, which has meant they've actually extended the wheelbase by 3 inches. So it is, what was already a very large car is even larger than it was before. As you can see, it's been painted in a very lovely green paint finish. There seems to be a green theme with us at the moment. This particular colour is called greener on the other side. We understand it's very similar to Porsche's Brewster green in appearance. The car is ostensibly standard to look at. It has this classic Dodge Charger lines, the vinyl roof again, which is something you would have seen in period. But the car does have a number of other interesting features which have been added by Ringbrothers. For those who have not heard of them, Ringbrothers are probably the most famous muscle car retro mod specialist based out in the United States. They produce a number of different versions of vehicles like this using crate engines and so on, but also going as far as vehicles like this, which are a complete build. Needless to say, it is a very valuable car, and the conversion process based on an original 69 Dodge Charger chassis is quite expensive and time consuming. One of the things that's quite interesting about this is that they've tried to keep the original shape and many of the original details of the car, but in some areas it has been subtly modified and changed, which gives you a hint as to the increased power and performance of this particular car. A good example of this is the 19-inch custom-made alloy wheels finished in body colour with red around the outside, which sit over the top of an uprated 6-piston at the front and I believe 4-piston at the rear braking system. Again, there's a reason for that, and I'll come on to why. On the subject of the wheels, personally, I don't think they're one of the finer features of this car. I think the wheels are far too different to the originals for me. Whether you guys agree is entirely up to you, of course, but they certainly are different, and obviously to some extent the larger diameter is needed because the car is running a much larger braking system. Coming on to one other feature, I mentioned earlier on in the video that when the car left us and then came back in 2025, there had been some changes. It was originally running a 6.4 litre Hemi crate engine. It has returned to us in modified form, and this owner, giving you a clue as to quite how crazy he is, has decided to fit a $30,000 Elephant crate engine. That's 426 cubic inches or 7 litres for those of us in the UK, and it produces no less than 1,000 horsepower and 950 pounds-foot of torque, which of course explains to you why you need uprated brakes, hugely wide rear tyres, and all of the cooling and other systems that go with that. Moving to the car's interior, Ringbrothers don't just look at the mechanical side, obviously they deal with the aesthetics and the interior as well. You've got a completely bespoke dial pack here, which again, it has a subtle original style, but obviously much more modern in its performance. The car retains some of the wood trim, although I doubt very much it is wood in an American car. And a lot of the surfaces, which were probably historically vinyl, have been recovered in leather, so that it is a much more uprated and bespoke feeling interior, but retains all of the original styling cues of the original car. For me, probably the best angle of this car, and the one that is certainly the most intimidating, particularly with the headlights off, is the front. You've got a giant bonnet bulge, again, as you'd expect with a 7-litre engine in there. With the lights off, you have covers that fold down over the headlights, so there's no lights visible. It's a very intimidating, open-nosed front with a red Ringbrothers logo. As the lights turn on, the covers come up and down, which is quite a cool feature and one very distinctive to the Dodge Charger. So that's hopefully given you a little more information on the Dodge Charger, the Defector, as it's known. It really is a fantastic thing, and it's, again, a bit like with the Integrale that we dealt with. It's lovely to see something a little bit unusual and something that has so much of the owner's personality in it. To finish the story, the car has been with us for about 12 months. We've been liaising with the DVLA as requested by the owner, and have finally arranged the relevant registration paperwork, which will enable the car to go back home to Norway, sadly, and it will there be enjoyed as a Norwegian registered car by the owner there. We'll be very sad to see it go, but it's been a very good example of how here at Windrush we're able to handle not just the storage, we can do that of course, but it's the other aspects, the ability to help the client transport the vehicle, deal with the DVLA, handle all the registration aspects, and enable him at the end of the day to use his car where he wants to use it. And I hope that he'll be able to enjoy it for many years to come.